that fraternity, all them weird coke sniffing, DMT smoking weird rats, they're just dirty, horrible scumbags to their husbands and wives. And that's just the way it is. And as they get older, they need younger, and that's how it goes. So you'll have fellas who started doing these little mad parties, having adult women here at 30s, 32s, 35s, 40s, and they've grown up. They're in the 40s now, and these parties still continue. But they're getting perverted now. Why do they want younger? That younger thing kicked in 90s, 2000s. Now it's all younger. So now you've got these parties, and amongst the lap dancing world in Liverpool, you've got some decent girls that just go in, get the dough, do the dance, get the money, don't let no one touch them, get back off to the fella, raise the kids, get on with it. But then you've got serious slappers. And in these parties, what you'll have is 3 or 4 of these slappers from these lap dancing clubs. And these are used to it. These are used to going and getting 3 men going through them at once. They're used to it. So when you go to these parties as a man and you've paid $5,000 to go or $10,000 to go, when you go in there, you've got a choice of lap dancers. And if that lap dancer's getting belted by 2 or 3, you can still go over and get in it. So there's 4 of you on this. Straight up, that's what happens in the city of Liverpool. That's what Sam Walker was enabling years ago. Enabling young lads, young girls from the clubbing scene, getting them, do you want to go to an after party? They walk in, they get given a drink. Over for them. A lot of people don't even know what's happened to them. So they're just sitting there in a puddle thinking, did it, didn't, did it, didn't, didn't it, didn't it. They don't know. Why? Because they're fucked off this GHB. So when you've got 2 or 3 lads going through it, she's waking up the next day feeling rough as fuck, knows something happened, but doesn't know what's happened, but does know what's happened, but doesn't know what's happened, and just got off, and just living with that did it or didn't it situation in them. It's only a matter of time before it all starts falling out, you know. These type of things start clean, end up dead fucking dirty. That circle that he was in was dead fucking dirty. And it's still going now. And that's why it's not shut down. When it stops, that's when the wounds start opening up. That's when the blood starts pouring, when shit stops. People realise they're being used and abused for years and start screaming about it. And it's only a matter of time now before this shit gets exposed. Yeah, we're 2025. I've been aware of that since 2013. No, 2017. But that's been going on well before it. Well before it. I could remember parties happening all the time, mate. But you just weren't on the ball back then. Do you understand what I mean? And you used to see like the big drug dealers in your area in cars with all the young girls off the estate flying places. You know, like a 29-year-old drug dealer with a 17-year-old gang of girls in his car. But you didn't realise it because you're young yourself. But when you look back now, the hindsight's a beautiful thing, people, and this is what you need to do. Forget the past, forget the past. Forget the past is like not assessing what went wrong. You look at the past and you understand what the fuck went wrong. Fuck everyone else's past, look at your own. You know, you've been places, you, not anyone else, you have been places and seen things. And here we are now. If you went back and had a little, like, reminisce about, you go, fucking hell, I remember seeing that happening, but not knowing it was happening. Right before your eyes, but you didn't realise. When you get older and your mind opens up a little bit, You start thinking, shit, that's what was happening back then. Anyway, it happens right across the northwest, right across south. London's worse. Why? Because you've got more fuck-ups down there. You've got more steroid abusing, egotistic men that like skull-ragging young girls all over the gaff. You have groups of them. Loads of them. Loads of them don't get exposed. Why? Because police attend that. Police go to these parties, councillors go to these parties, your local solicitors go. Honest, you got to like see what drugs has done is saturated nearly every like employment group you can find. So in that banker's office, you've got people sniffing coke. In that solicitor's office, you've got people sniffing coke. In that bank, you've got a person that goes out of a weekend fucked off coke. In that fucking cafe there, she gets twisted off a weekend off the coke. And this is what I'm saying, in them council buildings there, they're all sniffing coke. In that fire brigade there, they get twisted once a month on coke. Everyone's dabbling in this shit. Everyone. And because they're all dabbling in it, they're doing shit they wouldn't normally do. They're doing a lot of shit they wouldn't normally do. But because they're sniffing the devil dust, they're doing mad shit. Perverted shit most of the time. Honest perverted shit. You've got lads, no bullshit. You've got lads getting off the face on coke. And instead of having a beer to going home, they're going home and wanking themselves asleep. I'm not lying. Sitting there with porn on the telly, locked off in their house, in the flat, in the bedroom. They can't even do nothing. They're just abusing themselves. They can't even, like, get anything out of them. They're just abusing themselves. Straight up. Probably the same with girls. Going home off the barn, just fucking pummeling themselves, mate. I swear down. It's fucking nasty what's going on behind closed doors, you know. Some serious shit going on behind closed doors these days, mate. Honest to God. Yeah, you know, years ago when you was a kid and your ma and your dad are active and you go upstairs and you open the door and you see your ma banging you down, you go, shit, run out. And you still remember the fucking sight, don't you? Kids these days are opening their ma's door and saying, not lovemaking. They're not seeing that type of shit, mate. They're seeing, like, heavy, dirty shit. Heavy, dirty shit, though. And this is what's happened now with, like, the generations of us below us. They're all perverted fuckers. Loads of them. Not all the generations, but there's fucking a vast majority of teenage girls and lads who are fucked. They don't understand the concept of lovemaking. They haven't got a clue about it. They just think like a bang instead of make love. That's what all the young girls think now. Fuck him, I'll just get another fella. Just getting, see most of the young girls that are getting blitzed the way they are. You know, they've got all lads going through them, thinking it's normal. Thinking it's Nicki Minaj shit. You understand what I'm saying? So they'll sleep round, but they're not understanding, because they're young, the trauma later. Trauma later. Some of you girls that got thrown around the park when you're younger didn't understand what the fuck you were up to. You know, you're traumatized off it. I don't know how you can be. Let me tell you this in this context, right? You know, if someone grabbed me by the side of my head, right, and I don't know, got a truncheon, started ramming it down my throat, making me choke my fucking guts up like that. You're not forgetting that shit. No way. That's traumatic, that. If you've got a lad there and you're hitting him and you're putting this thing in his mouth, fucking ramming it in him like that, and then let him go, that's nightmare shit for the rest of his life. There's no way you girls aren't suffering off that sort of treatment. That's the point I'm making. There is no way you girls who are getting that treatment done to them aren't going to suffer later. I'm fucking telling you now. Straight up, lad. That's the way it is. Honestly, now you've got young lads. I keep on getting to this point, but you've got 18-year-old lads who are getting their head pummeled by grown men. Never mind the young girls, mate. I know that's horrendous as well. These young girls are getting the same. You've got young girls off your estate that are getting in the passenger seat of cars for a few hours with these knobheads flying around. They're not even getting treated like princesses. You know when you see that kid flying around his nice car and he's got that thing in the pas and you see him just floating around all night. She's giving him a chew at the end of the night, and her head's getting blitzed. Just her head, nothing else. The whole intention of him getting air around him is just for a chew. And he's fucking ruining the head the more he gets a chew. It's like anything, girls. You know when a man gets you, say you're courting, you have a relationship, you're getting to know each other, you start making love. The first occasion is nice, it's a little bit, but as you're going through, the more occasions you get together, the more tight, the more aggressive, the more fucking passionate, the more it gets, doesn't it? Harsher, bit rougher, as the months are going by, doesn't it? It's exactly the same with these young girls' faces, mate. It's just a normal chew when it begins. 3 or 4 months in, he's fucking ruining the face on it. Trauma in this young girl up to fuck, she doesn't realise it. Until they're older and their heads are going. Why? Because they've had that many things coming in this and leaving them in a fucking mess. Their heads are finished off it. Totaled. Obviously, you're not seeing it all, yeah? Eyes, you aren't seeing it all, yeah? That's all got to come. This is all like down the line. Effects of what's been happening. Every girl who's on substances is getting used. Every girl who's on substances is getting used. And I don't mean like they might be in a relationship, and the kid who they're in a relationship, sweet. Everything's great there, but she's getting used in the bedroom like a dirtbag. And once you're a full-blown dirtbag, you get fucked off by your fella. Once you've let yourself go with this kid, he's gonna go, fuck you. Move on from that one, mate. Swear that. Hello, Kiva. It's a bit of a dodgy situation to speak on, isn't it? Why? Because a lot of people will be embarrassed. A lot of people will be thinking about themselves now, thinking, wow. Young girls need to be taught it's dirty. The last thing they should be doing is putting any man thing in their mouth. Young girls seem to think it's a fucking sport these days. They need to start getting educated by you grown women properly, instead of being influenced by people like fucking Jordan, Tanya Lloyd, Katie Marsh, Kim Kardashian, all dirty slappers, can't even have a proper relationship. Man, fuck, kid. It's alright if you're being that way, but this is what you don't want your kids like. You know, you've got led astray by then. Don't let the next generation of lead your kids astray. Loads of used women looked up to Katie Jordan and followed in her little path, started imitating her, being a pink girl and all this bullshit. Look what it done to you. I'm not saying he's fucked up, but if you would have followed a nice princess or someone positive, you would have ended up in a well better mental state of mind and lifestyle. So we should learn off these that destroyed us and had us fucking behaving mad. Why are we sitting back and letting them, a new arm of this claim pay agents, just a new generation targeting them? To keep us distracted, they bring the people that fucked us up back on your screens. So now we're all looking at 50 Cent and everyone again now. Our generation, we're not looking at them now. Why? Because all that shit that fucked us is getting thrown back in your faces. All of it. Why have all of a sudden rappers from 30 years ago who are 55 now, why are they getting thrown right across your telly again? To get us locked back on. Oh, 50 Cent, they're doing a concert, I want to go away. While they're fucking them up down there. Straight up. Like a wave. Thank girl, you're alright. You need to start educating your kids. Properly, like. Don't let your girl be a slapper. And I know it's hard. Why? Because you're going to get a little slimy fucking rat moving to it outside. And the music your daughters are probably listening to is encouraging her to be sneaky behind your back when she's with boyfriends and shit like this. Do you get it? Yes, Jane. Like all that Nicki Minaj music and all them fucking dirtbags like that. It's exactly what Foxy Brown and all them done to our girls years ago. Same sort of shit. Aggressive birds. So when you've got these rap stars, these Foxy Browns and these Little Kims and all these fucking madness from years ago, they would come out aggressive, hip-hop, gangster. Before you know it, you've got aggressive fucking birds thinking the lads. Anyway, let's leave the youth alone. I feel like I'm picking on them. I'm not picking on them, I'm just saying someone needs to scream at them. I'm not a girl. I'm not a woman. And I've been screaming for years. I've not seen no woman take the pedestal and start screaming at these kids. And the women that are on social media, they can't. Why? Because what they should be screaming about to these kids, they're participating in. So they can't really start screaming shit that they're participating in. That girl there can't start screaming, stay away from drug dealers. Why? Because a fella's a fucking drug dealer. So she can't start standing on a pedestal on fucking TikTok next to a fella saying, hey, you girls, don't go near drug dealers, they're going to ruin your lives. Do you get what I'm saying? Whole fucking circles sniffing drugs. That's why they don't do it. All them scouse birds. You've got some decent scouse birds, but the rest of them, mate, trust me what I'm telling you. You see that Sarah Love? Just a fucked up coke fiend with a criminal family. You know, she mixes with the girls whose husbands kill young girls in the city. Do you remember me doing a live with that Sarah Love about 18 months ago? And she let the fella who housed Cashman come into me live and start calling me shit. Remember that? And this is the point I'm making. You've got little rats like this on social media that are deep affiliation to organised crime groups. So they can't educate the kids. They can't scream at the kids on their platforms, hey girl, don't touch Ket. Hey girl, don't fucking life. And she's not the only one. You know, you see loads of birds from the South End, the Dingle end of Liverpool, you know, where Sam Walker mixes. I've been highlighting a little bit of like behaviour patterns going on with them South Enders, haven't I? Without his understanding it. But even their birds, you know, these birds who've got Rolexes on, tanned up to fuck, little screechy voices. Oh yeah, I know when you get married, yeah. They're just fucking cold whores, mate. Getting abused to fuck by the fellas. The fella's not even banging her no more. That's what I'm saying. The fella's just getting chews off her. That's her life now. Doesn't matter how she sits there thinking she's all happy and shit like this. The fella's a fucking monster. Always has been. And she sits there and styles it. Like she's having the best life. She can leave it. She can leave that shit. She's fucked off the yayo. And he's always given it. And they're all starting to come onto social media platforms like TikTok and that now. You know, the more they're getting washed up, the more they're becoming like us. I don't mean that towards us, I mean that towards them. Like you go back a few years, they wouldn't come on TikTok. And you think I am coming on TikTok? But now the coke's got the grip of them. Oh, they'll come on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? When they're there earning the dough, and they've got the big watches on, and they're attending these events because they've got a dickhead who thinks he's a celebrity boxer or something, and they're getting invited to these gaffs as if they're fucking famous, when in reality you're a Z-lit fucking boxer, you helmet. But he's sitting there like he's the kid, and his bird's just a slapper, skinny, scrawny, fucked up, over-tan rat, fucked off the coke, thinking she's some posh bird. You washed up cokeheads. None of you's had a career. You're selling drugs legit. Now fucking leg it, you pair of helmets. And you scousers, I don't even have to name who we've just been speaking about, do I? You fucking know, don't you? That's what I'm saying. Dingleheads are fucked. Dingleheads are fucked, mate. They wear wigs and shit. They wear wigs. They wear toupees and shit in Dingle. The main heads in Dingle wear toupees and wigs. Straight up. Yes, Paula G. I've been banging a bird of a gangster, and she's telling me he changes his wig every month. He goes and gets his wig changed every month, this kid. And everyone's shook of him in the city. Why? Because he's had loads of dangerous kids around him most of his life. It's only a little fat helmet, little blade. Whacker. Dickhead. Straight up. Yes, Jen, Vivel. This is what you're dealing with in Dingle. Pure dickheads, Ungies, Fitzgibbons, all them little Sam Walker, all them little dickheads from Dingle. Got some serious kids down there, but then you've got the dickheads. You know, the little homosexual adult party crew. I should be going all out and just fucking exposing them all, shouldn't I? Naming them. Shouldn't I? I think that's what I need to start doing again, you know, people getting back on that type of content. Yes, Charlie, you know, exposing people from South Liverpool for a bit. I normally speak about the criminals in North Liverpool and leave them dickheads alone in South Liverpool, don't I? Pure nonsense up there, though. Serious ones in Park Road ends and that. What you've got to think about with these organisations in these areas, they get that empowered. They become that empowered because people are shook and everything's in their favour because everyone's shit scared. They get that empowered. They get that mindset like most men do. They can take what the fuck they want when they want it. And this is where girls are starting to get the shit took off them and they can't do fuck all about it. Why? Because this man wants it. This girl can't run out and start going, please, please, the most dangerous gangster in this area has just raped me. It's not happening. It's not happening. But you've got victims all over Toxteth. You've got victims all over Lodge Lane. You've got victims all over Waverty Road right now. Girls from 18 to 38. You've got 38-year-olds that have been getting fucking done by these gangsters for the last 10, 15 years and they can't do shit about it. You've had girls who are 18, 19 getting cocked up by these fucking rats, getting destroyed for a few years and having to live with it now still in silence 10 years later. Even though the abuse stopped 10 years ago, they haven't stopped. They just stopped on her, got another one. I've been getting messages for months off accounts where they want to speak, but they're shit scared to. Why? Because you've got serious fucking nonsense in this Park Road district and that. Serious ones, dirty, horrible, nasty, steroid abusing gangsters that are doing serious shit to young girls and boys. It's everywhere in the city. It's unbelievable. And they treat it like it's normal. This is what I'm saying. What they're doing, they think that's normal to do. They think it's normal to give a 19-year-old tidy-looking girl GHB and ruin it. They think it's normal. So this is what they do on a regular basis. So they'll go out. They'll have wives and that, but they'll go out on a man's night. Want to get back here, drink. And then leave them, get back off to the wife. And I'm talking about gangsters. I'm not talking about a suspect hiding in the room around a corner perving on your kids. I'm talking about drug dealers on your estates, ruining your son, doing madness. Perverted cunt. Loads of them. It's just weird, you know. It's like you get all these people screaming about mad shit that like Diddy parties and all this Hollywood shit, and you've got it happening here, but just because it's not Hollywood actors and not fucking all this, you know, you've got boxers and MMA fighters going to these fucking gaffs. You had Conor McGregor going to them. When Conor McGregor's been in Liverpool, he's went to one of these events. That's what they call them, events. You know, they don't call it adult party. They'll title it and make it sound extravagant. And you're not going into a little dungeon. You're not going into like a little shitty flat. You're going into penthouses that have been rented out for a month. High standard fucking living. And you're getting high standard people attending these parties. And just because you're in the UK, don't think that shit isn't. It's happening worse here than anywhere else. Why? Because that's what this country is. It's a European prostitute haven. That's what the UK is. Every city, every town, you have got thousands of European prostitutes. In Liverpool, you've probably got Albanians running sex parties. You're just not hearing about them at all. Why? Because there's a lot of people involved in them. Dirty people, rich people, elite people, with celebrities. So when you're hearing about these, you know, like the BBC doing galas, you know, BBC gala nights, the after galas. Don't think it's not happening. It's everywhere. Everywhere. You can congratulate them on becoming a title gifter. Who was it? Tank Girl. We had Rochdale grooming. That's a different element, but it concerns the same elements. Let me tell you how it kicked in. In the 80s, 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, let's give it that 40 year. You had a lot of high-ranking authoritarian individuals with a fetish for young boys. And they'd look to abuse boys as much as they could. Men, powerful elite men, police officers, councillors, barristers, politicians, care home owners, savils. They loved young boys. So what's happened in these towns where you've got these authority and people who control these towns, they weren't like cities, these towns. The policing of these towns was 10 times different from the policing in the cities. Like the police force in that town were, we own this town type of attitude. You get what I'm saying? So what you'll have back then is the highest ranking copper in Rochdale and the only MP in Rochdale, and they're a pair of puffs who like fucking young boys. So while they're doing this little wicked trade, 70s, 80s, all of a sudden you've got immigrants coming in. Alongside these immigrants, you've got homegrown gangster criminals, armed robbers and people like this that are aware that these two are using rent boys. And when they're arresting young lads, they're doing horrendous things to the young lads. So the gangsters are becoming aware of the problem with these and young boys. Now, instead of killing them or breaking their legs, the gangsters at the time thought to themselves, let's get him on a picture, let's get him on a camera, and we can blackmail these cunts. So that's where it starts. White British politicians and police officers grooming young boys start getting blackmailed by local gangsters, British, English gangsters. Now the immigration kicks in and the drug fraud kicks in. Now the local gangsters are tapping into the drug trade, and my man's the link for the potent drugs from Pakistan. Pakistani white heroin. This Pakistan immigrant's bringing it in. So now this local gangster has got a link in his local community, and these two are now criminals like an organisation. It's not long before this new criminal from Pakistan starts getting to know the dynamics of what's happened with the police and the MP. So now this little pervert who's got his own little wicked way is understanding that these like boys. So now it starts unfolding here. So now your local groomer is now blackmailing the same fucking coppers as your local gangster. So now, so your local copper and your local gangster don't get exposed for being what they are. They're turning a blind eye to the Pakistani man in the corner shop abusing them girls. And that's where it unfolds. And over the years, over the decades, the politicians, the police and the groomers have become very close, very tight. And then police officers that were down there in the 80s as a detective chief inspector is probably sitting in that fucking Lord's chamber right now. That MP that was getting blackmailed for banging rent boys and now he's turning a blind eye to this grooming, he's probably in the House of Parliament right fucking now, 20 years later, 30 years later. So this cover-up started years ago, but the people are sitting at the top of the fucking chain now, and that's why you've got the cover-up. Because it goes right to the top of Windsor. Right to the top of them. And they've got rid of, we're all thinking, Andrew, and all this, has been got rid of because of Epstein files, aren't you? That's a smokescreen, that. He's been fucked off because this grooming shit's going to expose him and a lot of them. The grooming gangs in this country is why that Andrew's been fucked off, not the Epstein. The Epstein's been brought back to cover what's happening here. You understand what I mean? Watch. It all come out like that. That's why Starmer's been brought in. Starmer has been brought in as Prime Minister to cover this. Put in legislation which protects pure people and shit. And that's all he's done in his tenure. He's come in his tenure. He's not really asked about fucking what he's doing here. His whole purpose of him getting in as this lawyer was to get legislation in which protects all sorts of people from the past. So now when he comes out of power and all shit starts kicking in, what you'll start hearing in 10 years is that legislation was brought in under Keir Starmer which prevents us getting justice here. They're all the same, aren't they, if you think about it? You only got to look at them, mate. Look, why have you got very rich men who've been to university all their lives, in Parliament all their lives, and they're only just getting girlfriends? Like, look at Boris Johnson. Got a girlfriend about 4 years ago. What was he doing before then? It's like to get a girlfriend to come into power with. That's what it's like. No, hang on. I like Boris. It's all the same firm though, isn't it, mate? At the end of the day. They are the same space, the same elite, same rich. Fuck that, mate. Yes, Mr. Mischief. You reckon Farage is different now? Do a fuck. They're all the same. All politicians are the same. Don't know what you think they're not. Doesn't matter where they're from. He might sound like you. They're the same shit. Honest. Just a gang of fucking dickheads. They don't even know what they're fucking doing. It's all scripted. Think about it, mate. It's all scripted. Everything they're doing is scripted. Even when they're on the fucking box answering questions, they're looking at. So you know when you watch Prime Minister's questions, some of you might see Prime Minister's questions, or you see it on the news where he's Starmer's chatting shit. The questions he's getting asked, they've been given to him like 56 hours before, so he can prep for them. So when you've got that leader, that opposition leader there, asking that Starmer difficult questions, it's not on the spot questions. You know, she's given the questions 3 days before. He sat there, prepped an answer, come out, and then read it off. You know, that Badenoch should be coming out without a script, without telling him what's coming off her mouth and going, yo, answer this. So he's straight on the spot and he's got to answer, and you'll see that how much lies are coming out the mouths, wouldn't you? But it's all scripted. Even when you see them standing there with a load of ambulance workers behind their back that are fuming that they've been told to do this. He's reading a script. He's reading off fucking these things and all this shit. It's all scripted. Everything's scripted. You know, it's a stage. It's a show. It's an act. You've got a gang of rich, posh bastards all trying to get themselves into a position where they can make millions of pounds. That's all it is. The country's running itself. The country runs itself. They don't run shit. The country runs because we run it. If we all just stopped, it'd stop running. They don't run shit. Think about what I'm saying. What do they run? We don't even run shit anymore. Foreigners run it. Why? Because a lot of us woke up. Fuck yous. Think we are. Didn't we? A lot of the Christian communities woke up to the bullshit they were doing, so they've had to replace us, so they've got the same. We were working for ourselves, whereas the immigrants are working for the country. So most Scousers wouldn't die for the king, and they know that. If that king popped up tomorrow morning and said, right, we're going to war with Russia, how many of you are going to go, is right? Exactly, and they know that. They know. They're going to have to arrest the majority of our communities to go to war. They know that. So what they're doing is bringing people in and trapping them. Trapping them. All these men that you're seeing coming in, and they think they're getting to the land of fucking Riley and they're having all this luxury, when in reality they're getting trapped into a British citizenship, which means they can go to war by force. So everyone's jumping in and fucking hell, British citizenship after 5 years, this is fucking wrong, 5 years. Trust me, all these immigrants that's been in here for 7 years and got their British citizenship, they're the first to go to war. And that's what'll prove the loyalty of the king and the monarchy to the country. So at the moment, we think we're getting fucking damaged to fuck by the monarchy and the politicians with all this free boats coming in. And they're not stopping them. And they're not stopping them to hurt us and destabilise us and destroy us. And they're doing it to the dominant European countries, all of them. And what they've said to all these immigrants, for some reason, they corrected the laws and went, 5 years later you can have a passport, you're a British citizen. And these are all buzzing. And then here you are in 2030, we're going to war with someone. And guess who the politicians and the monarchy throw in the front line? All the brand new British citizens. And what will that do? When things end, all the homegrown, born British citizens will all be back in the favour of the monarchy. Why? Because you never sent us to war, you sent the shit. Like a mad dynamic there, innit? Again, this is just theory, but I can see that happening. They know we're not going to go to war for these. You're not going to get many men volunteering to go into Russia and fight Russia or anywhere else. And they know that. They know the only way they've got an army is through foreign soldiers. Do you know it? And that's what it might be. You know, they're prepping for a European war. They're prepping for a war. And I don't know what it is. If you step back from all the melee and all the bullshit, yes, Nick, the European countries are prepping for a fucking war. And all these immigrants that are getting brought in and all this, they're getting prepped for war. You can see what they're doing. I don't know why we're going to war with someone in the next 5 years. This country's going to war with someone, definitely, in the next 5 years. Defo. And basically that's what they're doing. They're prepping for war. Why would that monarchy say this war that they're going into is not a massive one, and they know that? So why would they want to send homegrown, rough-ass men into a short war and lose them. When 10 years, 15 down the line, you've got a big war. And we need the ones that are willing to die for the streets and the communities. Them immigrants aren't. You know, these immigrants, if they were given a uniform and a gun and opposition came into the community and put your weapons down, they would. Go on, take me. We wouldn't. We'd fight to the death for our communities. And they know that. Do you get what I'm saying? Again, this is speculation, theory. It might be, it mightn't be. But to be honest, I've never really thought of our leaders as evil bastards. I've never really thought, yeah, they've treated us bad, the police have treated us bad, the system's treated us bad, all this, but they've never really been. Well, they have, because they used to hang people in the 70s. You know, they only stopped 75, 78 or something, hanging in prisons. So they've had, but what I'm saying is, the majority of my life, they've treated us good. And it's hard to believe that they're just willing to let us all be shit on and murdered and all this for the rest of this existence. I can't see it. But what they would be willing to do is have all these people coming in for so many years, locking them into the British citizenship, and then sending them to war. We've just got to deal with this shit. Why? Because it's about our long-term future. And we need these bodies to go to these wars so our long-term future's secure. Again, it's just theory. But we're definitely going to war with Russia. Something's popping off with Russia. Do you understand what I'm saying? Defo. Look, Putin's going to come out of this shit. He's going to walk out of this shit. You know, this Ukraine bullshit and that. He's going to come out of this with the Americans, China and other Saudi Arabia all looking to support him against NATO. So he's definitely going to walk out of this. So what you've got then is Starmer and this government that have stolen billions and billions and billions of pounds off the Russians. Froze assets, took the assets, give the assets to Ukraine, give them to businesses, just robbed them for millions and billions of pounds that was in this country. Putin's not letting that go. And now Starmer's turned his back on America. And we haven't got the support of America now. Starmer backed NATO and fucked America off. And now NATO's crumbling. So you're starting to hear Starmer scream, we need to be closer to Europe. Because NATO's like, although it's all the same people, it's a separate entity from the European Union. And the European Union have got their own little forces and their own little things. And then NATO's like an advancement of that. Like a private army, basically, NATO. And it's crumbling. So Russia's going to walk out of this conflict and then be more dominant, more powerful around the globe. And then he's going to start saying, right, Britain, I want me billions. And that's where it's going to start going. Ignore the trolls, people. The ones that crave attention. Think the gangsters get fucked off the coke and take steroids. Fucking leg it, you nugget. All we can do, as always, is protect your women and children. Start getting your community to relate to each other. The divisions that drink and drugs have created on your estates between different families, you need to start removing that shite. Start trying to find a common ground amongst us, so when shit hits the fan, you're able to stand next to each other back to back and challenge whatever's happening. While you're still arguing over your drink and drug problem 10 years ago, or your family's had a fallout because of drink and drug problems, all this shit in our community needs to be removed. People need to start reintegrating relationships with the neighbours, and you had a fallout over your brother fighting him, and this needs to be gone. Why? Because when it comes to the crunch, if we're all divided, that enemy who lives facing you will stand there and let them 4 immigrants punch your fucking head in, and he'll laugh at you. Why? Because you're already divided. If you start repairing that shit, and then all of a sudden 2 years down the line, you got 4 people attacking him, he's going to back you. And this is what you want your neighbours back like. Busies come on the street to kick your door in. Neighbours used to burst out. The fuck are you doing? Get off the estate. We need it back there. You need that unity. You've got to people on our estates need to understand we are the same and they are that lot. And we need to start protecting ourselves from the police and the shit they're letting happen on our streets. That's the mentality. Us, as a full community in this cul-de-sac of 20 houses, we need to start protecting ourselves from the police and the shit they're letting happen to us. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't have one side of the community supporting the police while the police are destroying the other side of the community. The whole community needs to come together and think. The only way we stop the madness on our streets is if we communicate with them. The only way we stop this shit continuing to happen is if we understand the police are here to divide us. The police don't want unity on our estates. The police don't want all the men being strong and unified on our estates. They don't want it. They haven't wanted it for decades. That's why you don't see crowds like football crowds coming out on your estate to defend each man no more. They've proper ruined us with division on purpose. The only way the people of this country can stop what's going on is if 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 of us say, fuck it. That's the only way the shit's going to stop. The only way you're going to make that government question the fucking actions is by coming at them with mad action. Mad action. And you don't target your own towns. You don't target your own cities. You don't target your own infrastructure. The only thing you target in your cities is the council buildings. You target their infrastructure. You target their buildings. You target their dwellings. You don't target your neighbours. You don't target the people in your streets who are poor. Doesn't matter what they look like. Doesn't matter how they fucking talk. They're being lumped in your community because they're going to get treated exactly the fucking same as you's going forward. No different than yous. They're getting lumped amongst us because they're just fucking like us. Straight up, that's the way they see it. They don't see you any different from that HMO next door with 10 immigrants in it. That's why they're willing to just slam them next door to you. They look at us as all the same. And the minute we start looking at all us as all the same, and that's where the power is. That's what the power is. Think about this. Let's just say, I don't know the numbers, but let's say there's 80 million people in this country. But let's just say 10 million people. Let's say there's 10 million people in this country. There's 1,000 politicians and police officers controlling us. Yeah, well, look, I know there's a lot more. This is hypothetical figures. There's a lot more than what I'm stating here. But let's just put it at 10 million. So you understand the dynamics. The population of 10 million in this country is being controlled by a population of 1,000 people. How are them 1,000 people controlling a population of 10 million? How? That's it. Division. And these powerful people that control all the wealth, control all your wages, control everything you're doing because we allow them to. Because we allow them to. Wasn't divided. These 1,000 people would be hung for the crimes they've committed towards us since we've been born. Do you understand what I'm saying? We've had serious crimes committed against us and our generations of bloodlines by these cunts for decades. Why? So they can keep us controlled. So you've got that small population there controlling our big massive population, deliberately harming us to create division. Who's the controlling government is the real question. Mountbattens. The main man of Windsor. Queen Elizabeth's uncle. All these are nieces and nephews, your King Charles, Queen Elizabeth, Prince Andrew. These are like the shit at the bottom of the tree. The Windsors, the Queen's uncles, that's who control the world. The Queen's brother or uncle it is. And he has been the head of Freemasonry since 1963 around the world. Fact, go and research it. He's the highest ranking Freemason in the whole world, the Queen's uncle. It was the uncle that made the Queen the Queen. It was the uncle that made Camilla the Queen. It was the uncle that made Charles the King. The Merovingian bloodlines, royals. Excuse me. So if you want to know who runs, who's controlling what's going on, who the slave master is, that's what they are, the slave masters. It's who you're dealing with, slave masters. They've not changed their ways. The British Empire is still the powerfulest organisation in the whole world. It's just hidden from the light at the moment for whatever they're getting, whatever they're doing. They're letting this country get run down so you can't see the fact that it's like Babylon. They don't want you to see this country in its clean, spotless, magnificent form. Why? Because you'll understand you're still in the Roman Empire. All they've done is changed Roman to British. So instead of all being raised in the Roman Empire, we're being raised by the British Empire. But it's all Roman. And if our country was scraped back to the shit that they've put in it in the last 50 years, you'd see. Liverpool was like a big, massive Roman village. Newcastle was like a big, massive Roman village. Manchester was like a big, massive Roman village with its own castles, its own water supply, everything. Big wall right round it, just like Liverpool. You can't see the wall because it's over the years. Berry build, berry build, berry build. It's the only reason you're not seeing it. Like, what happens is they will flatten that block of flats, and instead of getting loads of vans and taking it to a fucking quarry, they'll flatten it, and then build on it. So over 100 years or 200 years, we're like an extra 100 foot up on Earth that wasn't there 100 years ago. But because of the building, we're like 100 foot up from the real floor that was there 200 years ago. So if you were to go, let's say, 100 foot down, you'd come to cobble floors. Why? Because that's what Roman floors was, cobble, laid by the Irish probably. Again, just theory, speculation. I'm not a historical. But it's all, it all makes sense, doesn't it? You know, what's coming out of my mouth, you're not saying, fucking hell, that's far, that's a bit too, that's daft. You know what? Big forts, massive forts, and Liverpool's a fort. Manchester was a fort. The Wirral was a fort. They had their own perimeter walls. They had their own castles. They had their own forts with cannons on to protect them. And it's still evident. It's still evident. Everywhere. But as I say, they build. So you can't see the true context of where we are. We are the most powerful place in the world, and you just don't grasp it. But there's too many telltale signs to let you know that we are the powerfulest people in the world, but we're getting hidden as if we're not, for some reason. Yeah, well, let's just look at it right. What controls the world right now? What controls the world? Like, what makes people powerful in this world today? Kiva say money. Money, innit? Debt, finances, doesn't matter what it is. Right, so when you know money is the most powerfulest thing in this world, when you've established that fact, then you start saying, okay then, what's the most valuable? There's loads of money in the world. That money's worth this, that money's worth that, that money's worth that, that money's worth that. What's the most valuable currency in the whole world? The sterling, the pound coin. So if we've got the richest currency in the world, the pound coin, nothing meets it. You know, a dollar, if you get a pound and go to an exchange rate, you're getting $1.50 for your pound. That means your pound's worth more than $1. So when you've got the richest currency in the world, what does that make you? Yes, Jen. ALT. What does that make you? The powerfulest person in the world. You must be. You've got to be. And if you're not, why haven't all these pirates around the world and all these gangsters and all these dictators came and took your currency off you if you're not the most powerfulest? There's a reason why you haven't been robbed for your currency. Isn't there? Let's have it fucking right. Yes, sir, right. So this is what you need to understand. We're born and raised on the most powerful continent in the whole fucking world, mate. The British Empire. It's gone fucking nowhere. It still exists. Why? Because they control the money. You control the money, you control the fucking world. And the exchange rate works for them just as much as us. Say this government send 100 million to Africa. That 100 million to that continent is like 100 billion. So now you've got 100 billion in Africa to build because you've sent 100 million pounds there, and the exchange rate makes that pound go to 10 billion Nigerian fucking pennies or something. So when you've got a Pakistani family in this country who's getting 60 grand a year on the benefits, and they're sending 40 grand, or let's say 12 grand a month on the benefits, and they're sending 6 grand of that benefit pound coins to Pakistan. In Pakistan, you're talking 20. So you've got lads here whose bloodlines are from other countries, killing the benefits, sending it straight back home, maximising the profit in their currency and building mansions. Why? Because we've got the richest fucking currency in the whole world. We are the British Empire. We are the powerfulest country in the whole world. And no one can take that away from us. No one. Not us. Our slave masters. They're the powerful slave masters around the globe. And you can see it, can't you? Why? Because every dickhead bows down to them. All your Trumps, all these, you've seen what they're like. They're like kids when they get invited to see the king, don't they? All of them go weak at their knees and that when they go there, because they know. You know, this country is the Roman Empire. See all this shit? This is us. It's just been called the British Empire. And the reason it got changed from Roman, basically, was because the king at the time got dethroned and a Protestant king came in. That's where the Roman went away. Roman Catholic type thing went away. You got a leader of the Protestant church that stepped into the position of king, and then he unrolled his way of being, and that's where we are now. That's where we are now, basically. Same bloodline. Now you got hard spirituality, Yorkie. That's what they done. They dethroned the king at the time, who was a Catholic, and replaced him with a Protestant king. And here we are now. And that's why you got the King James version, Bible. It was King James that done it. King James killed the Catholic king. I'm sure that's what I read years ago. And kept his wife. And he was a homosexual. I think I've read all that. That's not just come from nowhere. That's just come back from something I've read 20 years ago. Yeah, that is true. I read a book about that. It is, isn't it? So was King James an imposter. They all are. All kings and horses are imposters, aren't they? Da-da-da. Christ chose one king, and it was Jesus. And the cunts killed him for it. Now you've had umpteen kings, umpteen lords, umpteen fucking this. When in reality there was one. And it was Jesus. Yes, Anita. Kaj. J. History is not my forte. History's full of shit as well, innit? I don't believe it. I've read loads of it, but I don't believe it. No way. There's no way we've been in existence for thousands and thousands of years. Just don't believe it. The history that these elite have wrote for us is lies. History's all made up, changed, that's what I'm saying. Watch the History Channel, it's good. Goddess of Spirituality, Kiva. How are you, the Paint Sage? Chin. Look, history is what you've seen. That's it. The past is what you know. Other than that, I wouldn't tap into it. If you've seen it, like, I can remember the Troubles because I've seen some of it. I can't remember World War One because I've never seen it. And I don't believe anything that was written about it. Why? Because the winners always write history. And the winners aren't always right. That makes sense? Everything you know about World War One and World War Two came from the media at the time. So the only reason you know what was going on in World War One is because their proof of that is a newspaper cutting. And they'll go, look, this is what was happening in 1942 in World War One or World War Two. And they'll go off the paper cuttings and the headlines on the local papers at the time. So that indicates to me that history is written by the media. And when you've got history like Hillsborough being written by the media, and they do whatever the fuck they can to not rewrite history. That's what the delay was, really, with the justice and all. It's still delayed now, but the whole reason of them delaying that is so they don't have to rewrite history. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So, your kids in 50 years, 60 years will only know about the Hillsborough event because of the papers. And the story what's in the papers is completely fucking wrong. But they never rewrote it. So you might have a new paper 40 years later saying, oh, it was a cover-up. But the main headlines from Hillsborough on the 15th of April back then, it's what it is. You know, your kids in 100 years are going to see that as the truth. Scousers pissed on their own people. They're going to see that as the truth. So here we are now, 100 years after the war, and we're getting media stories, and we're treating them as truth. We're treating them as fact. We're treating it as the true account of history. When in fact we all know the media lie. And if you've got a media who supports this power base, but then this power base gets took out, and then the media starts supporting a new power base, well, obviously then they're going to spin a narrative for the new power base. Aren't they? That's why you can't believe the history. Because the media write it. Fuck that. Fuck that. Just have a think about what I'm saying there, mate. Everything you know from the past is proven by a newspaper cutting. That's not proof to me. That's not proof to me. Fuck that. I've got newspaper cuttings there where the police are lying about us. And that's the type of shit they're using for proof. Now, in the future, they won't use your Liverpool Echo headlines as proof. They won't use your MEN as proof. They won't use that as proof. But they'll use the Telegraph. And whatever the front headlines is on the Telegraph, that's what dictates history. And the narrative going forward. It's like a two-pronged assault. You know, they tell you about history and then spin the narrative for the future at the same time. This is where we're going. That's where we came from. So we think we've came from a horrendous times and we've progressed, when in reality they fucking ruined us. Haven't they? Yes, Lips, Jane, got Mo saying you lost the plot, but you're listening to me in my space, in my live, Maureen O'Reilly. When you just get your fucking head down. Are you a woman as well? Get your bones down, you slag. Silly little hating rat. You little slapper. Sorry about that, my woman, but when you get a dickhead in and think she's fucking hard, it's nice to just let her know what she is. Leg it. It's the reason you haven't got a fella. Emma saying she's a god person. Are you? You a man person? Yes, Twinkle. Is that what you are? Are you a man person? That's what God is. God's a man. Every god you've ever heard of in your whole life as being a man. What makes you think it's not a man all of a sudden? In one God, one creator. Ignore that. They're all fucking demented, mate. It's not one God. There's hundreds of gods. I've spoke to you about this for time, mate. You got someone saying Jesus is God. You're right, mate, yeah. He was a man. Jesus was a man. That's why he got the label God.